Deciding to return to college as an adult can be a pretty daunting endeavor. I know that balancing work and family and academic responsibilities, there's just a lot going on with balancing everything that's new and everything that you already have to take care of. So it can be quite the journey. Now, one crucial aspect of this, of course, is the financial aspect of it, balancing that with your life. Now, securing scholarships and financial aid can certainly make this easier. And the good news is that there are many scholarships that are actually designed specifically for adults returning to college. In this video, I'm going to share some tips with you, including some tips on those specific scholarships. Now, make sure you hit subscribe because every week we have a new strategy to help you work towards that debt-free degree. Hey there, my name is Jocelyn Pearson, founder of the Scholarship System and Debt-Free Degree Lab, where we redefine paying for college to help families build strong financial futures rather than ones with decades of debt. So scholarships are our bread and butter. Now, first let's talk about why do scholarships matter even for a returning adult? And this might be pretty obvious, but of course, first and foremost, it's to reduce the financial burden. Sure, we might be a little bit more comfortable than we were at 18, hopefully. However, that does not mean that most people can just cash flow a degree these days. Now, some adult learners might choose to go part-time, and if so, I actually recently created a YouTube video all about scholarships for part-time students, so we can link to that in the description below, or you can click on this video and you can check that out after this one. Secondly, by helping find money to pay for this, it can encourage lifelong learning. This is something where you can then afford to expand on your knowledge and go back to school, maybe complete a degree that was never finished. But overall, it's enabling people to continue that education. And third, it's to support career advancement. So getting that degree, finishing it, or getting another one, going back for some reason, can lead to promotions or can lead to a job change with a much higher salary or can lead to a totally new career. Either way, as an adult student going back to school, oftentimes you have a much better idea of what you are going for and why, and so the advantages really are endless. Okay, so let's get into the type of scholarships available for adult students heading back to school. First and foremost are general scholarships. These are regardless of very specific criteria, but they are typically need-based, such as the Pell Grant. There's also the FSEOG, the Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant. Second, there's a whole category of scholarships for women returning back to college. One example is the PEO, Program for Continuing Education. This is need-based money for women that are returning to school after an education break. Third are scholarships for single parents. Of course, that is a unique challenge as a mom myself of balancing education and family life. So this is a great category. One example is Patsy Mink Education Foundation Scholarship. This is for low-income single moms. Next, we have industry-specific scholarships. This is especially applicable in fields where continuing that education is really valued and really important. One is nursing. There's a Nursing Reinvestment Act scholarship. There also are some for those switching career fields, like I mentioned earlier. Local workforce development offices might know of these. One example is Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, and they actually have grants for adult learners that are returning to school to pursue a new career path. How amazing is that? Another category of scholarships are actually employer-sponsored scholarships. So rather than changing paths, maybe we just want to get better or get more qualified or try to get a higher position within our company. And a lot of companies these days are actually willing to pay for this. I actually have a sibling who works for Chase, and she is finishing a bachelor's degree and they are willing to foot the entire bill. How incredible is that? We're hearing more and more employers that are willing to put money towards tuition assistance or to provide scholarships for their employees. So it's worth checking out. And for those who are maybe pretty recent out of the school age, you may even want to look into where your parents work. Last but not least, actually maybe one of the largest opportunities are community and local scholarships. So I have a free webinar where I cover exactly where to find these, how to know that they're legitimate, and how to save time finding the ones that are not on the big search engines. So you can check that out, thescholarshipsystem.com/free webinar, or you can click on this video. We will also put the link in the description below. But that said, these can be for anything. There are community organizations, Rotary clubs, ALC clubs, foundations that specifically focus around adult learners. There's so many, there are just really endless opportunities when it comes to local or community-based scholarships. These smaller private scholarships, they might not be the bigger dollar amounts, but they can still add up to that free ride. In fact, this is a large chunk of the money that I received to help pay for my education. Now, if you are going through these categories and you are seeing a lot that you're eligible for, except they don't necessarily say that it's for an adult learner or someone going back to school and you're nervous to apply, reach out. That is absolutely okay anytime that you are on the fence. Now, if it has a specific age range, okay, that's pretty black and white. But for the most part, you should be eligible to apply for a lot of these scholarships. We've had people apply to ours, and it doesn't make a difference if they are a student or a returning student for us. I'm sure we're not the only ones. So just a few quick tips for scholarships for those of you that are looking to pursue these. First and foremost, always start early as you can. As soon as you are decided, okay, I want to go back, we need to start applying, because I would imagine that you want to attend within the next 6 months, in the next year. That means we need to get money now. A lot of times when we're applying for money, it's for the following school year. So you want to probably start this process right away. I know your timeline's a little different than a typical high school student, but we want to start right away. Secondly is to research extensively. I just gave you so many different categories and options. Also, different universities will give more scholarship money or merit money than others for returning students. So you might be able to find some that are more adult student friendly and have more money for that category. Third is to tailor your applications to the scholarship. So one of the things that we teach in the Scholarship System online course is to actually look up the organization ahead of time and see if we can tie to their mission and their values at all. And as an adult learner, as someone going back to school, again, you probably are a little bit more established in what you want to be and why, what's important to you, what's your passion, what's your mission, which is great. And if you can tie that to the scholarship in any way, then that will definitely be memorable on that application and help you stand out. Fourth is staying organized. We have tons of tips on this inside the course, but really you want to make sure that you're not spending all this time building a list of scholarships and then just forgetting about it or missing the deadlines, because then we just wasted a bunch of time. But staying organized, we have a free app and Chrome extension. You can go to thescholarshipsystem.com/app and learn more about that. You might want a calendar system, you might want a spreadsheet, but no matter what, don't rely on memory. And lastly, seek assistance. Even if you're not necessarily the high school student that can get help from a guidance counselor, there are still so many organizations like us at the Scholarship System, or you can reach out to the university. There are career centers. There are these organizations that I mentioned earlier to help people returning back into the workforce or changing careers in the workforce. There are a ton of resources out there, so do not think that you have to go at this alone. So comment below, are you going back to school after an extended absence? Are you an adult learner? And if so, have you found money that you can apply for? Have you been surprised by how much there is, or are you having a hard time finding it? Comment below, we'd love to know. And if you are an avid book reader, we actually recently released the second edition after our 10-year anniversary of the Scholarship System. You can find it on Amazon by just searching the Scholarship System, but that is brand new and totally updated. It is actually almost probably double the length of the original one because we've learned so much. So definitely check that out. We will also link to that in the description below. Okay, so that said, if you are returning back to school as an adult learner, congratulations. That is a huge step, and I hope that it works out for you. One of the areas that you can make it a little less stressful is the financial area. And the good news is that there are a lot of resources out there to help you along the way. So I hope that you found this helpful. If so, hit subscribe so that you can watch our other strategies for paying for college. And again, I will see you in the next video.